study in correlation with Auburn University in Alabama. This was a 3-year study on this delayed mortality of black bass. And this study cost $843,000, almost $1 million they spent on this. So this is a detailed, thorough study that took a long time to be able to come up with the conclusions that they came here. Now, a lot of this stuff I could have already told you even before the study because I've seen it on my own firsthand experience, but I'm going to read you guys some of the highlights of what they found. Okay, now according to the 3-year study that they did, they found out that nearly 45% of the bass that were weighed in suffered either pre or post-release mortality. And then the figure jumped to 50 to 80% delayed mortality in hot weather. And the rates also increased in correlation with the rise of high school and college events that are, increasing like that. So we've talked a lot about this on the channel, guys, as far as the delayed mortality from bass for a lot of different reasons. There's 2 factors in my opinion on this. Number one is hauling them around in a live well all day long, especially in warmer water. And the second is this increased mortality that we're seeing as a result of live scope and forward-facing sonar creating barotrauma issues for the fish. Now, barotrauma issues, guys, if you're not familiar with it, it's one of the prime drivers in delayed mortality on bass because let's say, for example, if somebody's using their cheater box to catch some fish out off the shore and they catch these fish deep, once they catch these fish and bring them to the surface, even if they release them right then, a lot of times, they suffer this delayed mortality because it has the barotrauma creates this eye damage and internal organ damage that's not visible right off the bat. So sometimes this mortality can, take a couple days to take effect. They can turn them back in the water and they're fine, but the delayed mortality from the barotrauma issue usually takes a while to affect the bass. So just chalk up another reason to hate the cheater box out there. Okay, then other findings, they found that that female bass suffered a higher mortality rate, both pre and post weigh-in, simply because they were targeted more by the tournament anglers. Everybody's after bigger fish, therefore a lot of the bass that are weighed in are females, which is a really bad thing because since you're basically killing 40 to 80% of the female bass population that you catch in these tournaments, look at where's your brood stock coming from. So it doesn't take Einstein to figure out that that's not a long-term sustainable model. And then the third one that I found pretty interesting, they said 70% of the bass that died from delayed mortality were caught by anglers in the tournament that didn't win any money. So you got 70% of these bass that are dying and guys didn't get any benefit whatsoever from it. They didn't even win a penny.